big show.
I must dig my dig in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
This is a team sport. It's not a talent-based sport.
We got Bobby fucking Petrino back. If I'm honest with myself right now, it's a cool 12-0. Oh, look at that tornado. Baby, kegs and eggs.
Every day, man, we grind. We grind. Don't question us. Don't question who we are, what we do, or how we play. We're Vanderbilt men. Commodores Akron, down!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the College Football Tailgate Big Show. As always, I'm not going to do the normal thing. I'm going to do this because it is week fucking 1. I'm XFL Jim. That's Chase Lupine Fiasco. That is Erik, a.k.a. Uncle Rico. We are here to talk about every single game. God, I'm so happy to college football. I love you guys. I love college football. Have a great Saturday from 11 to whenever the sun goes down on the sport. God, let's have a great day.
I didn't hear one word you said, dude.
I missed most of it, but the jam got me hyped though.
I hit my mic while I was doing it, and I think I turned my mic off for a little bit.
And I will say this: the energy was oozing.
It was, yeah.
Dude, Erik, how old was your hat in that video? In that intro?
Old as fuck. I still have it. That's my workout hat.
I
love that fucking hat, dude.
Boys, great week 1. Before we get into it, any takes from Friday?
Western Michigan looked good. I thought they looked pretty good.
That fake was fucking. They were in a position to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
In a position to win that game. TCU could be one of the most disciplined coaches. How many? Like, what was it? Like 65 yards the first drive in penalties.
It was rough. It was really rough.
Same thing with Michigan State. Kept on going high on Fancher when he was sliding.
I'm gonna push. That's a little bit on Fancher.
Dude, they called it once. You got to be able to fucking adjust, dude.
I know, but like it's so hard. Like if you're already in the act of tackling and then he slides when you're already like going to tackle, it's hard. Like I get it.
Fancher, he's fucking bad.
He's playing a risky game out there too with those slides.
He missed some throws. Michigan State easily could have fucking have lost that game. Quarterback Childress, look, he's going to be fun as hell to watch, but he's going to do some stupid ass shit. I'm definitely going to look to actually bet him next year to win the Heisman, just because we're going to see that year 1 to year 2 growth. One of the top recruits coming out. I think he has all the tools to be a good quarterback, but I think because of how bad Michigan State is, he's going to kind of get lost in the wind next year. So he's going to be some value for the Heisman for next season.
Chase, did you want to expand on how Arkansas, the Razorbacks, ruined your Arkansas Pine Bluff bet and how it made you feel?
I feel great about it, honestly. We pitched a perfect game, 10 drives, 10 touchdowns, and UAPB either punted or the half ended with every single one of their drives. So I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I think that they're pretty good. What I really want to talk about, Jim, what I want to talk about, Jim, is how Army is dead to me. Absolutely dead to me. The Coast Guard is a better branch of the military. That's what I say.
Are we a pro Space Force show now?
Yeah, the Space Force is better than Army. What a Bush League move. What a Bush League move running up the score late when the under is pretty well locked in. Lehigh had surrendered. They weren't using their timeouts. Just take the knee. Bend the knee. That's all I got to say.
There's 3 things I want to mention. Number 1, I don't like the 2-minute timeout. Not a fan. I'd rather it just the clock stop every first down like how it was. And it just seems, and it's probably true, it seems like there's even more commercials, which I think we all saw coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, like scheme. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's number one for me. And I don't know, man. I'll get over it eventually, but it just seemed like it's even more commercials. Number two, I feel like the refs did a not great job in the Colorado game, and I just want to get that out there, especially at the end. I feel personally like North Dakota State got shafted a little bit, but I also didn't like how they were kind of coaching with the double quarterback system. And number three, I'm 3-0 on my teaser so far. I just wanted to let that be known to people. 3-0.
Amazing.
3-0.
Amazing.
Since college football season.
Oh God, dude. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if I got 3 total last year.
You're just seeing the board.
Right now.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic. Are you boys ready to dive into the week 1 Saturday slate?
Let's go, man. I've been ready for this since July.
I've been ready for this since we did our first week preview on the gymnasium.
Right.
At 11 a.m., Penn State going up to the mountains of Appalachia to take on West Virginia. The Nittany Lions are a 7.5-point road favorite, over under a 49.5 plus 230 on the money line for the Mountaineers.
So can I say? Oh no, you guys talked, and I'm gonna say something about the game.
I wanted to get there with West Virginia, and I have them later for something, but I couldn't get there because I just feel like Penn State's defense is going to be able to stifle what I expect West Virginia is going to want to do, which is run the ball. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against Penn State, even at home.
I like West Virginia in this game. I would play West Virginia in this game, but the problem is that public dogs have fleas. I hate that everyone is on this West Virginia side. It feels mushed. This line has moved from 13.5 where it opened originally a couple weeks ago down to 7.5. I'm out. It's a pass.
So this is my thing. Now look, Grant, I think this guy's a fucking moron, but for whatever reason, people watch him. And I'm talking about Pat McAfee. Obviously went to Western Michigan. He's been hyping up. He's been having the coach on, went to the game. I think this is just young, impressionable kids that think McAfee's on this pedestal and he's telling them to bet this game and this number's getting driving down. There is no reason this should be under 10 points. When you look at what Penn State has, what West Virginia does, what the Penn State offensive coordinator did at Kansas to this West Virginia defense, it's like this is all McAfee just running his little mouth like he does, influencing people to make bad bets. There is no way this line should be that low.
I'm so excited to see what Kotel Nicky does with Penn State's roster. I'm very excited to see what he can do.
I think Penn State. I like Penn State. I have them to win the Big Ten. I think they're really insanely overlooked a little bit. As crazy as that sounds.
Also at 11 a.m., Clemson, Georgia in Atlanta. The Georgia Bulldogs are 11.5-point favorites, over under 48.5 plus 370 on the money line for the Tigers. I wanted to get here, but Chase did get there. Chase, what's your bet?
Yeah, I'm taking Georgia minus 11.5 here. Sick 'em dogs. I just think that this is a better caliber of team. I don't care if the running backs for Georgia are suspended or injured. They've got plenty of running backs. It's this defense that I think is going to give Clemson fits. And I think the Clemson is on their way down. That's it. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. I'm going to stick with this claim that I think the Clemson is on the way down. So I think that Georgia handles Clemson pretty easily. They lost Brock Bowers, they lost Ladd McConkey. They're just going to reload. I'm not worried about Georgia in the slightest, and I think they're a 2-touchdown winner.
This is one I just decided to stay away from. For those of you who watched the ACC preview, know I'm pretty high on Clemson this year. That's basically just for Clemson to be able to win the ACC or make the playoffs. I don't believe in a Clemson team to go head-to-head against someone of Georgia right now. Because I think Clemson has dudes. I think they have a lot of strong players. They don't have the depth that these guys have right now. And eventually, Dabo's just going to have to play the transfer portal to get it.
14 was my buying point. This number earlier in the week was 13.5.
Yep.
I said to myself, if this gets to 14, I'm going to take Clemson. It's like dipped down a little bit. It never hit the 14. So because of that, I'm just completely out. And we'll see what happens. I think Clemson's a real intriguing team this year, but it comes down to how much you trust their quarterback.
I don't at all.
Also at 11, Virginia Tech heading to Nashville to the mostly built stadium, kind of built stadium of Vanderbilt. Virginia Tech is a 13.5-point road favorite, over under of 49 plus 410 on the money line. This is another one that I wanted to get there for. Chase, go for it. Because you and me would have been on opposite sides of this one, I think.
I'm high on this Virginia Tech team. I think that Kyron Drones is an excellent quarterback, and I think that Virginia Tech is a dark horse to win the ACC. And I think they can. You're getting a little bit of hype from Diego Pavia making the jump to Vanderbilt, but there's a big difference between the Mountain West versus the SEC and the ACC. So I think that Virginia Tech handles business against Vanderbilt on the road.
You could honestly based on what I've kind of been seeing, aside from your Arkansas Razorbacks, you could do worse in week one than just kind of fading all of the transfer quarterbacks, I feel. Like, I feel like most transfer quarterbacks have not been doing a very good job, especially at least early on. I wanted to get there with Vanderbilt. I'm going to have this game on somewhere, whether it's TV, radio, or phone or something, because I want to see what Vanderbilt's offense looks like. I want to see what they're trying to do.
I have nothing. I'm high on Vatek too. I guess going to set this one out.
Similar to Erik though, I for his take on Clemson, I wanted Vanderbilt like over 14. That's what it would have taken. UConn, Maryland. Maryland is a 19.5-point home favorite, over under 45 plus 800 on the money line. Maryland. It's September Maryland here. We're not going to know anything about Maryland until like conference play starts, I feel.
That's about right.
And
what do we know about UConn? Fucking nothing.
Nah. Illinois State, Iowa. Iowa is a 23.5-point home favorite, over under of 40.5 plus 1,500 on the money line for Illinois State. Are we back on the train? Are we back? Are we still doing Iowa unders?
So it's not in my official plays, but I snuck it in. I did get Iowa under, and I got him at 42.5 on the total. So I like that a lot better than the 40.5.
Yes. Well, you can't you want to keep the train going. You want to be on the curve for the Iowa unders, because if they look just like how they did last year, it's going to be gone quick.
At this point, we just assume that they can score more points because they have a new offensive coordinator. I mean, I'm not sure how much of the talent level has changed. Let's see if they can actually score points or not. I'll take the risk and say that they're not quite there yet.
I think if Cade McNamara doesn't die right away, they're at least going to be better at quarterback.
That's fair.
Kent State, Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh team is 24-point home favorites against Kent State, over under a 55.5 plus 1,300 on the money line. Before we do that, though, sports to that.
I have nothing in that game, buddy. Nothing in that game. Sports facts.
What do we got in Pittsburgh, Kent State?
Give me Kent State, the Golden Flashes, plus 24.5 against Pitt here. I'm playing this off of the star running back for Pitt was just ruled ineligible for the entire season angle, and he seemed to be the only thing really good about this Pitt offense. So give me Kent State to cover. Let me get a MAC team to cover against a big P4 team again for the second time this week.
The feisty MAC. I'm here for it. Pitt's gonna be. I don't know, man. They're gonna be weird. I don't think they're gonna be good, but they're gonna be weird. Austin P and Louisville Cardinals are 40-point home favorites with an over-under of 54.5.
I never got to talk to you guys. What is you guys' take on Louisville this year?
I like them a decent amount. I think Chase, you were pretty high on them, right? Louisville.
I've got them to win the ACC.
Yeah. I think they're really good. I love Jeff Brom. I think
Jeff Brom is exactly where he needs to be in life.
Maybe he's like perpetually on the hot seat in his relationship, so that keeps him motivated for work.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps.
Bucknell, the Nellies heading to Navy to take on the Midshipmen. Navy is a 31.5-point home favorite, over under of 48.5 in this one.
I really wanted to get there for Navy, but I just didn't do it.
All I can say is go Navy, fuck Army.
Do we bet the under in this one?
I don't know. Different coach, different scheme. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to say. I mean, I don't even know if Navy's running the triple option this year or not.
I'm pretty sure that they are.
They are.
Indiana State at Purdue. The Boilermakers are 35.5-point home favorites, over under of 50.5. No. Just not. I want to stay as far away from Purdue most of the season as possible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Chattanooga versus Tennessee. The Volunteers are 38-point home favorites, over under 56.5. I'm excited just to watch. I want to see Tennessee's offense. I want to see, because I'm expecting it to cook. I'm expecting Tennessee to be really good this year.
You saw a picture of Josh Heupel where he was plenty fat.
He's fat. He's a big boy right now, and
when he's fat, you get excited.
I might actually have to take a future on Tennessee national championship. If I get another fat Josh Heupel, if he comes out and is fat at this game, I will bet Tennessee to win the Natty.
If he comes out and he's fat at this game, I'm gonna bet.
Yeah, if he's fat, if he's a fat boy at this game, I will be betting Tennessee to win this game. Sorry, win the national championship.
Okay.
South Dakota State, Oklahoma State, alluded to earlier. Erik had nothing in this one. Oklahoma State is a 10-point home favorite against South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. The over-under is 54, plus 295 on the money line for South Dakota State. Couldn't get there with South Dakota State. This is like a perfect This is like the kind of game that Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State lose.
Well, look what they did last year. Last year, they really didn't show anything. They went plain Jane in those out-of-conference games, and everything they did come conference time was completely different. So, I don't know. I get it. I just couldn't do it, though.
Can we blindly bet in every Oklahoma State game Ollie Gordon over on carries?
I mean, look, dude, I'm sitting at a nice ticket. I got him like 80. I think it's either 80 or 75 to 1 to win the Heisman.
Are you not worried they're going to try and run him into the ground, though?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's my only worry about him.
I feel like you're talking about Booby Miles here. You're like, you ain't going to break that boy. Give him the football.
They might. I don't know. That's my only worry for him is they end up getting him hurt or something just by overfeeding him. Towson, Cincinnati. The Bearcats of Cincinnati are 31.5-point home favorites. The over-under is 56 in this one. Nope. Nah. Please no. Portland State, Washington State. The Cougs of Washington State are 26.5-point home favorites. Over-under is 59.5, plus 1,400 on the money line for Portland State. No. Again, no. I need to wait and see on Washington State. Still waiting to see. Miami versus Florida. Miami is a 2.5-point road favorite, over under 54, plus 120 on the money line right now. Finally, we get to something that I have, Chase has, and Erik has. Chase, that you've been getting us off. Starting us off. Why don't you start us off with this one too?
One, I'm flattered. Two, give me the Florida Gators on the money line, plus 115 for me. I think that this is pretty much just a system play for me, which is you have a home dog within a field goal spread. It's a green light to go ahead and take the plus money on the home dog. I'm firing away with Florida. I don't trust Mario Cristobal. I don't necessarily trust Billy Napier either, but like I said, system play with the spread within a field goal.
See, that was going to be my system play because I'm also on the Florida Gators. My system play is fade Mario Cristobal as a tight favorite in these close games because he is stupid. Give me Florida. I got him early, though. I got him at plus 110 when it was a little bit tighter. Erik.
I got Florida here. I took him at plus 2.5.
Fuck.
Ranked teams on the road versus unranked teams. Week 1, last 20 years, 42% against the number. We look at the last 4 years, that dips all the way down to 32% against the number. Napier is a covering god as a dog. As a dog in general, 69% against the number. As a home dog, 83%. We talked about Cristobal as a favorite. He's 41% ATS. I really don't trust Cam Ward. He has fumbles. He makes bad throws. Is he electric? Yes, but he is very careless with the ball. And Florida, one of their strength of their defense is their secondary. Graham Mertz, as much crap as he gets, he had a good season last year, and I think his mobility against this aggressive Miami defense is going to open some stuff up. Canes are very aggressive on the defensive line. Florida runs this zone-type running scheme, very similar to what the 49ers do, which will exploit the aggressiveness to open up some running lanes. I like Florida here, plus 2.5.
God, I hate that we're all on Florida.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't bode well for us, but let's go. Maybe that doesn't apply to us. Like every time.
You know what? You're 3-0 with teasers, dude. Maybe this is the year when we're all on the team.
There we go.
There we go. Colorado State at Texas. The Longhorns are 34.5-point home favorites. Over under is 60.5. I had this one kind of like sort of highlighted. I wanted to get there with Colorado State, but I just cannot. Texas is going to want to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm good on this.
Similarly, Akron, Ohio State. The Buckeyes are 48.5-point home favorites. Over under 57. I almost pulled the trigger on minus 48.5, but I'm good. I'm good with just betting Oklahoma minus 42. I'm thinking I don't need a minus 48.5 to come get me win because they're going to play both quarterbacks. Like they're going to play multiple quarterbacks in this one.
Yeah, you don't. Finally, you're ready to not be that guy with that ticket in your pocket.
I wanted to be so bad though. I
God!
wanted it so bad.
You're not going to do their money line.
The Ohio State, my mega whale play, put 200 units on it, is the Ohio State money line. Ohio Bobcats versus Syracuse. The Orange are 16.5-point home favorites. Over under is 44.5, plus 575 on the money line for Ohio. I
kind of wanted to get there with Syracuse because it's early season Syracuse, but I couldn't do it.
See, I want to get there with Ohio because new staff at Syracuse, a lot of change going on.
Right.
But I just couldn't because Ohio's kind of in a flux right now, too. I just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Miami of Ohio versus Northwestern. Northwestern is a 3.5-point, quote-unquote, home favorite to a sold-out crowd along the lake. Over under is 40, plus 136 on the money line. Erik, are you going to this game?
Oh, no, I am not going. Stadium looks cool. It is don't even get me started. Northwestern, they made some of the worst coaching decisions I've ever seen. They're going to be such a train wreck this year. But in this game, I think they do win this game.
I heard, so there was someone, a journalist or someone went over there to look at the stadium. It looks like on a very windy day, there might be an errant punt that just goes into the lake.
Yeah, it's so close to the lake.
It's so close to the water.
It's amazing.
I did bet this game. I'm on Miami of Ohio plus 3.
I could probably get in Lake Michigan, swim up, and then go up and watch the game without a ticket.
I took Miami of Ohio plus 3.5, and I sprinkled a little bit on that money line. Erik, because I feel like what's the Miami of Ohio's head coach name? It's Chuck something, right?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
So there was a bunch of college football coaches that voted to have like iPads on the sideline, whatever. He was the only one that voted against it.
My guy.
Because he's like, well, what is this? Do you want to look at the iPad? Where's the coaching involved anymore?
Dude, that's my guy, man. He knows.
I feel like he's got to be one of your top 3 coaches, Erik.
Top 4.
Oh, easily. Yeah, I'm on Miami, Ohio, plus 3.5. Sprinkle a little bit at plus 135 on the money line. Also at 2:30 Central Time, UTEP coming to Lincoln to take on the Cornhuskers. Nebraska is a 27.5-point home favorite. Over under of 48.5. Plus $1,500. Plus $1,500. Sorry, on the money line for UTEP. I didn't bet this game. I'm not touching this one. There's so much unknown here.
Brand new quarterback, brand new freshman quarterback, especially. Even though he's highly touted. This screams do not touch me.
Not if you're gonna touch it, I would maybe even go UTEP because as like Chase said, brand new quarterback, true freshman, and although this is week 1, this is such a look ahead spot because we have Colorado next week.
Whoa, did you just say we?
Yeah, Eric, I say we. I say we. What?
I also
say doing this for years now. I say we. It's a we thing.
Me and the mouse in my pocket. We say we.
This program has caused me undue stress and anxiety. It's we.
You know what else we do?
We.
We clap it up. Clap it up with me, Jimmy.
It is soft. It is soft. I'm not betting my boys.
Clap it up with me, Jim. Let's go.
Let's go. I will be clapping a lot during this game, I hope. FIU, the airport, going to Indiana. Indiana, the Hoosiers are 21.5-point home favorites, over under 52, plus 950 on the money line for Florida International. This will be. I'm intrigued. I want to see how Curtis Rourke looks. That's going to be my kind of like main focus on this one. I want to see how he kind of looks post Ohio.
Yeah, I don't want any part.
This is basically watch it. This is basically FIU against James Madison.
Yeah, plus Curtis Rourke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eastern Michigan versus UMass. UMass is a 2.5-point home favorite, over under 51, plus 114 on the money line, and exactly, Chase, which is why I am taking Eastern Michigan on the money line.
Let's go.
Get me EMU. Who is UMass to be laying points to a MAC team? I get Eastern Michigan has a decent amount of injuries, but they're such a well-coached team.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Give me Eastern Michigan money line. Just don't even think about it. Don't overthink it. Kennesaw State versus UTSA. UTSA is a 24-point home favorite. Over under 49.5 plus 1,800 on the money line for Kennesaw State. Thought about it. Thought about dabbling with UTSA, but I don't know. I want to see how Kennesaw State looks first. North Dakota, Iowa State. Okay, I might actually get there with this one. Iowa State is a 27-point home favorite. Over under 51.5 plus 1,700 on the money line for North Dakota. Why would I not take North Dakota here? This also feels like an Iowa State classic, like close game scenario.
Iowa State's got the look ahead. They have Iowa on deck. Campbell's teams historically underperform. I get it, dude. I get it, but I'm betting way too many goddamn games. I'm gonna
add North Dakota here.
North Dakota.
I'm going to add that. It's not on my official sheet, but I will be playing North Dakota. Merrimack Air Force. Air Force is a 29.5-point home favorite, over under of 47.5 plus 2,000 on the money line. No, thank you, is what I say to this one.
I got nothing.
I say no, thank you. App State ETSU. App State is a 35-point home favorite, over under 55.5. Please no.
Yeah. We're all high on App State. We all think that App State is going to have a great season, but laying that many points is a stay away.
I got to make it the playoffs.
Yeah, you do. It's true. I synced it.
I have their under. Sorry.
Well, suck my dick, Erik. Western Illinois versus Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois is a 35-point home favorite, over under 53.5. Shout out Uncle Joe, a Northern Illinois graduate.
Ooh.
But yeah, I'm not going to touch this one.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Pass. Okay.
Boise State, Georgia Southern. Boise State is a 13-point road favorite, over under a 57 plus 400 on the money line. Erik, I know you got this one. I'm also in this one. What are you rolling with?
I got Southern here plus 13. Look, it's going to be over 90 degrees and humid in Georgia when Boise has to travel down. Those kids aren't going to be used to this heat. Boise has Oregon on deck. How much are they really going to show? If they get up big, are they going to pull some starters? Boise State is going to look to run the ball. What is Georgia Southern's strength? Their interior of their defensive line and their linebackers. You can't really contain Gentry, the star running back at Boise State, but I think they're going to be able to limit him. You know what I mean? Keep him under 100 yards. And if they're able to do that, they're going to legit have a shot in this game. Now, Boise State is playing an air raid system, playing in the heat. I mean, like, let's just kind of put the pieces together. Also, I don't really like this Boise State's defensive coordinator. The more I look into his track record and how much he struggled at other stops and how much he struggled against the air raid system, I think Georgia Southern is going to be able to move the ball here. I think they're going to be able to keep this close. I bet Georgia Southern here plus 13.
I'm also on Georgia Southern plus 13. Boise State coming to the heat. Georgia Southern, I had, if you watch the Sun Belt preview, I'm very high on this team. Big year for Clay Helton. I think if he doesn't get it done, if he doesn't have a very improved year this year, probably hot seat scenario.
Really?
I think if he doesn't show improvement, I think like they don't have to like win the Sun Belt, but I think he has to like be improved. What they win like 5 games last year?
But they were switching from a triple option team to an air.
Fair.
That takes a lot.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm not saying hot seat this year. I'm saying if he doesn't like improve, if he doesn't get to a bowl game, maybe hot seat next year. And I don't know. I'm not as high on I think Boise State's going to do fairly well this season. I'm just not super high on them. And I think Georgia Southern will be able to score. I wanted to get there with the over too. That's also fair. I don't know who they replace Clay Helton with.
Who they get that's better. Yeah.
We'll probably get to this one later in the show.
Yeah, I'll look. I don't think there are any carryovers, but we'll get to it.
Also, I guess you could say, what do you think about Kentucky Downs as a track?
I think it's a really fun track, and it's always full of just absolute bombs. The people that people tend to hate about it is that it's a little bit unpredictable, and there's a huge takeout for the track to be able to have these sort of purses that they have. But I think it's great racing.
Back to college football, ODU at South Carolina. The Gamecocks are 21-point home favorites, over under 51, plus 1,300 on the money line for ODU. No, thank you.
No.
One I thought about getting with, but I think Erik might have. North Texas at South Alabama. South Alabama is a 6-point home favorite, over under 62, plus 180 on the money line. Boys?
I took North Texas here. I got him at plus 6.5 and plus 180. South Alabama lost its coach. So a whole new scheme's coming in. Lost the best quarterback in school history, their top running back, their top 2 wide receivers from last year, and 8 defensive starters. And they're going to be starting a redshirt freshman who did play 4 games last year, but he's still a redshirt freshman. And they're laying 6.5. What am I missing here? That is way too big of a number with all those moving parts coming in for the Jaguars of South Alabama. Chandler Morris is going to be the quarterback for North Texas. When he did see the field at TCU, he wasn't that bad. 8 new starters coming in for South Alabama. I think he's going to be able to move the ball. Shipley from Oregon, Lewis from Iowa State, and their top player, Brown, on the defensive side last year for North Texas are going to form a very sizable front 7. I think they're going to be able to get to South Alabama's quarterback, who's losing their left tackle, their right tackle, their center, and they only have 21 career starts on the offensive line. I think North Texas is going to win the point of attack. I think they're going to be able to get the straight upset. I'll take North Texas here, plus 6.5 and plus 180.
Whew. I like it. I thought about this one. I almost got there, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. UC Davis at Cal. Cal is 19.5-point home favorite, over under 54.5, plus 800 on the money line. If you guys listen to the ACC preview, you guys would all know I'm very high on Cal. UC Davis plays a style of offense that I think if Cal's defense, this is a game I'm going to be watching, but I did not bet because if UC Davis can like keep Cal's offense off the field and kind of if Cal's defense isn't improved from last year, I'm going to be very worried about this team. So this is one for me to like watch.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I know.
For not bet you let a Cal game go.
Dude, 19.5 points is too much. If I was on any side here, I would be on UC Davis plus the 19.5. I just kind of
swore. We pinky swore that you would play every single Cal game.
You know what?
That's a great comment. I hate the Lakers, dude.
It's true. It's true. I mean, he's not wrong. Okay, give me UC Davis plus 19.5.
Oh, dude, you're going. Oh,
yeah. I said I would play every game. Not that I'd be on Cal's side, but I'm playing. Dude, I need to see it from this defense. I need to see it. They need to improve.
Okay.
Chase, I bet them to win the ACC.
That's fair. But you didn't bet. But we swore you would bet every single Cal game.
Give me.
Are you betting them because you took a trip out to Ike's Love and Sandwiches by the UC Davis?
No, Ike's is a chain, Erik. I'll look up while you guys are giving your fucking round robins and stuff. I'll look up the name of the sandwich place. I've
never heard of Ike's.
I feel like maybe Stony Brook at Marshall. Marshall is a 30.5 point home favorite over under 52.5 plus 2,500 on the money line for Stony Brook. No, thank you. Please get me away.
Nopes.
Ooh. Richmond at Virginia. Virginia is a 19-point home favorite over under a 50.5 plus 750 on the money line for the Spiders. Fuck, dude. I might.
You kind of want to dabble on the Spiders a little bit, don't you?
I want to dabble on them Spiders. I want to dabble with Richmond.
Spiders in the point, sort of dabble?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I saw it, and you kind of want to mess with it, but at the same time, it's Richmond.
They're not terrible.
Virginia is terrible. It makes you want to dabble.
God, okay, so I'm not going to put it on there. I might dabble with Richmond. I might even sprinkle on that money line. I might go crazy.
Okay.
Eastern Kentucky at Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a 25-point home favorite over under 60.5 plus 1,300 on the money line. Erik, you're proud of me because I reeled back. I reeled myself back. Last year, I think I had like 25 plays. I don't have that many this year. But I'm not touching Eastern Kentucky or Mississippi State in this one.
No, thank you.
Campbell versus Liberty. Libibity is a 38.5 point home favorite over under 57. I could get there with Liberty. You could talk me into Libibity minus 38, 39.
They didn't lose much. There's some continuity there. I could see doing it, but I don't want to make at all.
Yeah. Norfolk State at East Carolina. ECU, the Pirates are 29.5 point home favorites with an over under of 50.5. Ugh. No, thank you. No.
I got nada here, man. I got nada.
Idaho State, Oregon State. The Beavers are 25.5 point home favorites over under a 55.5 plus 1,300 on the money line for Idaho State. Classic week 1 matchup here. Not gonna.
Yeah.
Western Kentucky heading to Tuscaloosa to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Alabama is a 32.5 point home favorite over under 59 plus 3,000 on the money line for Western Kentucky.
No thanks.
I'm probably not gonna. I might take Western Kentucky first quarter. Maybe.
I can't do anything here.
First quarter, new quarterback, new coach, new system. Maybe take Western Kentucky first quarter. I'm not saying do it. I'm saying maybe. Nevada versus Troy. Troy is an 8-point home favorite. Over under 44.5 plus 240 on the money line for Nevada. Anything that Nevada showed last week, have you want to take them here?
So there's a trend I'm going to mention to earlier, but the trend says here to fade Nevada.
Because week 0 teams are weak against the spread, right? In week 1.
Yeah.
Erik,
Yes.
he said that before you got on, Erik. He was talking about that trend.
I'm so proud of myself right now. You have no idea how proud of myself I am.
UNLV versus Houston. Houston is a 3.5-point home favorite, over under a 56, plus 145 on the money line. I bet this one. I'm on UNLV. Give me UNLV and maybe sprinkle a little bit on them straight up. I don't know about Houston right now. I think they're going to be better, but I think UNLV is already ahead of them. I think there might even be a coaching advantage at UNLV.
We like Willie Fritz.
I love Willie Fritz.
We like Barry Odom too.
Love Barry Odom though. I really like Barry Odom.
Yeah. That's a tough game. That's a tough game to play.
I took the plus 3.5 for UNLV. I say sprinkle. I did not officially, but I'm on UNLV plus 3.5. Sam Houston versus Rice. Rice is a 9-point home favorite, over under 48.5, plus 280 on the money line. They gotta win. They gotta cover this one for the Owls to go 2-1 against the spread this weekend. Temple really let the Owls down.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, Temple. God.
Temple might be the worst team in college football.
Yeah.
Wow, they were bad.
Intriguing to watch. Rice is just a fun, weird team. Central Arkansas versus Arkansas State. Arkansas State is a 12.5-point home favorite, over under of 56.5, plus 370 on the money line for Central.
I almost dabbled on Arkansas State here. Though the problem that I ran into is that UCA, Central Arkansas, that's a pretty solid little FCS program.
They ain't bad.
And as high as I am on Arkansas State, I think I had them as my dark horse to win the Sun Belt. I think that it's let's wait and see. Let's because it's still at the end of the day, Butch Jones, sorry, Butch Jones, not Butch Davis. Sorry.
Yeah, it's over under weeks until we see him cry again. Because it was week 2 last year?
Week 2, yeah. It's the tears are a great motivator, Jim.
Furman versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 42.5-point home favorite, over under of 60.5. I thought about getting on this one with the over. Because I think Ole Miss could get there by themselves. But this is also just to see how Ole Miss factors.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wouldn't blame you for betting the over here, though.
I like Ole Miss a lot. I bet them to win the Natty. I like them a lot.
Well, that is a lot. Tarleton State at Baylor. Baylor is a 31.5-point home favorite, over under 55.5, plus 3,000 on the money line for Tarleton State. What is this, year 3 in D1 for Tarleton State?
I think so, but they're also a salty little program too. They produced a lot of UFL talent. To be fair,
they did. They're feisty. They're a feisty program.
Feisty.
Remember in that COVID year, they actually did some damage in the FCS a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got a lot of players drafted in the USFL original, original expansion draft that they did.
I'm not touching this game.
I agree 455%. I'm not touching it.
What about UT Martin, Kansas State, where the Wildcats are 36-point home favorites with an over-under of 56.5?
No Will Howard, no Chase Sessoms.
Dude, Avery, I'm excited to see. I saw a lot of Avery Johnson last year. I think Avery Johnson has a much higher floor than Will Howard. Much higher ceiling, especially with his running upside. But the floor might not be there right away. Tennessee Tech at Middle Tennessee. MTSU is a 24-point home favorite, over under of 52.5, plus 1,300 on the money line for Tennessee Tech. No, thank you. No, thank you. Bethune-Cookman, South Florida. The Bulls of South Florida are 39.5-point home favorites, over under of 60.5. Gross.
Disgusting.
And I like this South Florida team.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I like them too. They have Alabama on deck too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Is that like a look ahead spot for them, or Like,
I think as close as they played Alabama last year, that it has to be
maybe
a head spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
North Alabama.
This is really off subject. Did you see what Dave Mason tweeted out last night in terms of what was it? What was the fake high school in Ohio?
Oh,
Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah, Bishop.
Yeah, it's like Bishop Sycamore would be favored over Temple.
Yeah, they probably would. North Alabama at Memphis. Memphis is a 36.5-point home favorite. Over under of 61.5. Another one where if you like Memphis, just take the over.
Oh. Yep.
Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Texas A&M up to a 3-point home favorite against the Irish. Over under of 47.5 plus 130 on the money line for Notre Dame. There's another one I think all three of us are playing. We'll start with Chase. We'll go to Erik and then go to me. Chase, what do you got?
I love this Irish offense, especially with Riley Leonard at the helm. I think that Notre Dame goes in and just spanks Texas A&M. Coming off the coaching change, I know Elko's good at working the portal and everything, but I think Notre Dame have something to prove. They know that they can't lose early, so I'm on Notre Dame here.
Erik?
I'm on the Aggies here. I got them at -2.5. To me, this comes down to a couple factors. Number one, Elko knows Leonard, knows his tendencies. He won against him all those 2 years in practice. Also important to note, Duke played Notre Dame last year. So all the and Notre Dame didn't have any changes. It's the same stuff they ran last year. And Elko brought all his defense, his whole coaching staff over from Duke. So all those guys have all that prep work that they did last year, all those notes. They don't have to dive in and look to do new stuff. Texas A&M has one of the best D-lines in the country, has one of the best home field advantages in the country. And Notre Dame's offensive line has 6 career starts. And they're going to be starting a true freshman who we're in August, so what's this, 3 months ago, was like graduating from high school. And he's going to be playing the blind side against a quarterback with an injury history, against a defensive line where all of them are going to be playing in the league. I think Texas A&M is going to win the trench battle. There's going to get some turnovers. They're going to be playing with some short fields. I know they got some questions on the offensive end, but I think Notre Dame, with that offensive line, I think they're really going to struggle. So I'll take Texas A&M here -2.5.
I am on Notre Dame, just straight up. Everything Erik said is true. The fact that, especially Texas A&M's defensive line is fantastic. I expect Notre Dame to kind of reload a little bit on offensive line, be all right. And also, not to get political, but Ted Cruz did come talk to the Texas A&M team, and you get that amount of loser on you as just a human being. That's going to be gross for the Texas A&M team and just vibes. Give me Notre Dame all day. Come on. Fresno State, Michigan. The Wolverines are 21-point home favorites. Over under 45.5 plus 1,300 on the money line. Do you want to get there, Chase?
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. I love Fresno State, but how many times have I seen darling, G5 teams that I really like get stomped by Michigan? We had the question last year, how much bullshit is too much bullshit for Michigan? And they just did fine again with all the bullshit. So I'm not gonna buy into that and say that, I think Fresno State has a great season. I think that they're always in contention to win the Mountain West, but I think they probably take their medicine a little bit against Michigan.
I wanted to get there. I want to get there so bad, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I also want to get there. I just think Michigan is going to be still really good, especially on defense. I think they're just going to be able to roll over a bunch of these teams.
They did lose
and
Minter,
not have to show much. I think the level of competition they're going to play is not going to be terrible. I don't think they go to the playoffs personally, but I don't think they're it's a huge drop off. UCLA heading to the island to play Hawaii. UCLA is a 14-point road favorite, over under 52.5, plus 410 on the money line for the Rainbow Warriors. I saw Erik was playing this one.
Oh God, I know it goes
Erik,
against the trend. I'm going to mention.
Before you do it, Erik is on the Rainbow Warriors, and I'm not. I am disgusted with myself.
Hawaii looked awful, and to me, that was more of a weather issue than what's going on with their offense. It was a very tough. I think people are overreacting to that score against Delaware State. UCLA is breaking in a new scheme, and they're going to be looking to run the ball more. Their best players are on the wide receivers. That means you're taking the ball out of their hand. Hawaii, out of conference games at home, getting 10 or more are 67% against the number. As a dog in general, against out of conference competition, 56%. I don't think UCLA has the defensive backs to keep up with this air raid system. Timmy Chang, the coach, he said, look, we're not showing everything against Delaware State. We're going to keep it plain Jane. We're not going to show everything in our repertoire because we think we're live against Hawaii. I think they're insanely live. UCLA has a conference game, their first conference game in the Big Ten on deck. I'm going to take Hawaii here, plus the 14. I also took them plus 440. I think UCLA is really going to struggle this year.
God, you know, I'm going to add Hawaii plus 14. I can't not. I can't allow Erik to take Hawaii and not me. I can't. I'm sorry.
I was just scrolling through to see like how many games we had left, and Jesus Christ,
dude, it's a huge day, Chase. It's a huge slate.
I mean, should we just go to what we have?
No, we're gonna just barrel through Idaho, Oregon. Who cares about that one? Oregon's gonna put up 70. Take the over. Alabama, A&M, Auburn. Interesting to see how Auburn looks, but they'll be fine. It's a fucking FCS school. Abilene Christian, Texas Tech. Probably. Who cares? Yeah. Southern Miss, Kentucky 26.5 point favorites. I don't know if we trust Southern Miss that much.
No.
JMU Charlotte. JMU is an 8.5 point road favorite, over under 48, plus 270 on the money line. I just wanted to mention, did you guys see how many players Charlotte has just injured?
No. Oh, they lost like half their starters, haven't they?
So yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you really think they're injured, or could there be like a team suspension for something and they're just listing them as injured?
I think they're injured because
that's a lot of dudes to be hurt.
My thought process is Biff Pogi probably kind of has like an outdated way that he does practice. He might do practice a little weird and then just getting players hurt.
Or just Oklahoma drill, nothing but Oklahoma drill.
Just nonstop Oklahoma drill.
Playing duck, tackle all day.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to mention that because that's crazy. Like, week one to have that many players hurt already.
Yeah.
Nuts. Georgia State versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets are 20.5 point home favorites, over under 55.5, plus 1,200 on the money line for Georgia State.
I want to take this because of the week 0 trend, and I want to take Georgia State, but I'm not going to because I can never keep straight in my head which team is which, Georgia State or Georgia Southern.
That's fair. Erik, you and me both got some plays in this one. Why don't you start us off?
Teams playing their first game against a team that have already played in week 0 are 64% against the number. Georgia Tech traveling back, and they're playing Saturday. At least Florida State has a couple more days. They don't play till Monday night. They play Saturday, have that big trip back from Ireland. Teams, after beating a top 10 ranked team the week before, 47% against the number. When they're a favorite, 46% against the number. When they're laying 17 points or more, 43% of the number. When they're at home laying 21 or more, I got 21, 39% against the number. Tech has Syracuse on deck, sandwiched in between 2 conference games. You just better be a top 10 team. And this team plays slow. Look at how they played against Florida State. They're not going to change the way they play. They play slow. They're not going to look to run it up. They want to keep everyone healthy. Letdown spot. Give me Georgia State here, plus 21.5.
I got there with Georgia State, but I took the first half. So I got Georgia State plus 11.5 first half. And then I think they're going to try. I think to Erik's point, they're not going to try and show much. I took Jamal Haynes over 87.5 rushing yards, though. I don't know if I still really like this Georgia State defense that much. I think they're going to rely on Haynes a lot. Southern Illinois, BYU. Go Salukis, but I'm not touching that one. Nicholls State, La Tech. Anything in that one, boys?
No.
Nope.
Nothing.
Lamar, Texas State. No. Robert Morris, Utah State. Don't think so.
Nope.
Houston Christian, which didn't that used to be, was that Houston Baptist before?
Yep.
Versus SMU. I might take SMU. I mean, I couldn't argue. SMU's going to want to do like a net crack game here. Texas A&M Commerce versus San Diego State. No, thank you. Grambling versus Louisiana. Fun, but no thank you.
We're going through every game. We're not just going through the FBS, are we?
That is, hey, Grambling, Louisiana's FBS. Louisiana's an FBS school, Erik.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
my bad.
Check yourself.
Sorry, Doc. Sorry.
Southeast Missouri State, New Mexico State. No, please no. Wyoming, Arizona State. Arizona State is a 7-point home favorite. Over under 47.5. Plus 215 on the money line for the Cowboys. I got something here.
I'm
taking. I'll start us off real quick. I'm taking Wyoming plus 7. I don't trust this Arizona State team. They could be interesting, feisty, but you listen to the Mountain West preview. I love this Wyoming team this year. I'm all in on Wyoming. Give me Wyoming. I might sprinkle a little bit, but give me Wyoming plus 7. Take it away, Erik.
I took 6.5 and I took the plus 210. Look, I know that the numbers dipped up to 7 because it was announced that Whaley, the Wyoming starting running back, is going to be out for this game, but I really don't think it's going to matter. Arizona State is starting Leavitt from Michigan State, who is god awful. Wyoming has coaches that were on Michigan State staff last year, so they know all his tendencies, what he likes to do. Arreo, who is the offensive coordinator for Arizona State, when he was at UNLV, his offenses were able to do literally nothing against the Wyoming defensive coordinator. Wyoming has Skabobo, did I say that right? Starting, huge upside. He can rush. He has a bigger arm than what they had last year. I think Wyoming's going to be able to move the ball, running the ball, which is going to set up the passing lanes because their offensive line has such a big advantage over Arizona State's defensive line. They lost their best player from last year on the offensive line, Arizona State, and they're already dealing with injuries and they don't have much depth. And Wyoming has a stout defensive line, one of the better ones in the Mountain West. Wyoming, in my eyes, better coach, better offensive line, better defensive line, better quarterback, better skilled players. Look, I know it's going to be hot. I know there's going to be windy, but I think Wyoming is going to straight up win here. I took them plus 6.5 and plus 210.
So you're playing the wrong team favored angle.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Wyoming is just Wyoming. They're my babies.
New Mexico, Arizona. Is anybody touching this one? I mean, New Mexico looked feisty last week. 30 points. 30 points
I think
spread.
New Mexico gets boat raced. I think they get completely boat raced.
I think so too. Weber State versus Washington.
Don't sleep on Weber State. That's all.
When Chase is like saying that about an FCS, you listen. Listen.
Except for UAPB.
Well, that was less you hyping up UAPB and you trying to downplay Arkansas.
Trying to downplay the wagon that is Arkansas.
You know who's been spending a lot of time at Washington practices? Billy and Peter. So I mean, you got two NFL coaches there who have great NFL coaches.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting if Washington gets off to a shitty ass start. Does Washington try to go after Carroll, go after Belichick? I doubt Belichick would do it, but I could see Pete Carroll going back to Washington.
I could see Carroll doing it. He seems crazy.
He's too old. He's done. He's too old.
I think he loves it just for the weird. I don't think he would love going to college though, because now it feels like being a college head coach is almost more work with all the recruiting and transfer and NIL shit. Yeah,
NIL and everything.
He would get someone for that. He would he'd outsource that shit.
I could see it. I could theoretically.
He'd probably put an ad up on Fiverr. Hey, looking for someone to run Washington's NIL.
Yeah.
You boys got some round robins for us?
That was the last game. Holy crap.
That was the last game.
Yeah, I've got some round robins for you.
Because I got one. You want? I'll start us off.
Go.
So here's my round robin. Georgia Southern money line at plus 411. Notre Dame money line plus 134. Nice. Hawaii money line plus 465. Florida money line plus 121. Miami of Ohio money line plus 135. And Clemson money line plus 404.
Okay.
I did a single parlay and then doubles. So the single is it's like almost 1,900 to 1 odds.
Shoot or shoot, man.
Shoot or shoot.
That's why I also play it in twos.
Yeah. Play in twos and play the round robin. That's the big one. Best way to go in my eyes. I did Florida on the money line, Hawaii on the money line, Wyoming on the money line, North Texas on the money line, Georgia Southern on the money line.
I like it. Chase.
Florida on the money line, Georgia minus 11.5, and Notre Dame on the money line. Just a quick little 3-teamer.
Boom. I have
so
a quick little.
Florida is going to be the one that prevents
all of us. Yeah, from sweeping around robins. Yeah.
I also have a nice little 4-team teaser for the people.
Oh, God.
Here's how it goes. We're going to tease West Virginia up to plus 14. We're going to tease North Texas up to plus 11.5. I teased Rice down to minus 4. So I get a little Rice action in there. And then I teased Wyoming up to plus 12. I did Wyoming back when they were only 6-point dogs when I teased it.
Okay.
4-team teaser, plus like 180, 190. I don't remember off the top of my head. I didn't write that one down. But another 4-team teaser for the people. And then there's one last thing I wanted to do. Because it is week 0, boys, I made a wheel of every P4 college football team.
Jesus.
So what this wheel signifies is the team that I will be kind of like quote unquote backing for this season. If whatever team this wheel lands on, if they end up winning the national championship, I will get a tattoo. There will be a list of what tattoos will be like available to get, but I will get a tattoo if this team wins a national championship. Where
are you going to get it?
So there'll be. I'll make like a 4. Like, I'll come up with 4 ideas, then I'll let people vote. But there will be a tattoo being had. Let's see what team it's going to be, boys.
Oh, God, I hope it's a shitty team so you don't have to get a tattoo.
Let's see what team it's going to be.
I thought it was going to be Texas.
I thought it was going to be Texas, too. Texas would have been
hilarious.
Let's go Wildcats. Let's go Wildcats.
Oh,
baby.
my God.
That was almost
Bullet
Texas.
dodge. Bullet fucking dodge.
Oh, you think I should spin it again?
Yeah.
No. Take Northwestern.
All right, folks. Just bask. Bask in week 1.
Oh.
This is a great week.
Are we going to be live later?
We will be live later.
That's right.
We'll be live watching the Notre Dame Texas A&M game. I will be screaming at Erik because we'll be on opposite sides of that one. There will be a lot of clapping involved too.
I think I'm gonna make some ribs and eat ribs and have a little Miller Lite during the game.
I will get very drunk during the game. That is a promise from me to you. So tune in 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern for our great stream watch along for Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. That man over there, follow him at Of Oaklawn everywhere. This man down here at eTop21 Sports, follow him everywhere. Me, XFL Jim, follow me everywhere. We love you guys. We will see you next time for another episode of the College Football Tailgate. Bye-bye.